Yes. So, what are we doing today? First of all, I want to thank all of you. I will open my email and you will understand what I mean. You cannot imagine how happy I am and how much I'm proud of you to see all those test cases that you sent to me and that we are going to discuss them today. So, first part, we are going to discuss test cases. And again, I would like you to believe me that when we discuss somebody test cases, it's not to point fingers. It's not just to say you're good, you're bad, you could be doing better. The purpose is one, that we all want to be on the same page. We all want to know what is the correct way. We will fix, we will modify, we will update, we will edit, we will work together. And second part of our session today, we will spend on understanding another bug tracking system, which is Bugzilla, and we will try to write the bug report. Also, I will be happy to answer your questions, if any, and I will review some questions from the email that I receive. I really want to let you know that, my dear, I will not be able, you should understand, I will not be able to answer each and any email. It's just not feasible, seriously. But at the same time, I will try to answer the common questions, the most important, the questions that bother everyone. So it would be great if you ask questions here on the Skype, on the chat, and we have Tasha, great question, and we will talk about releases. It will be dedicated topic. We will talk about it. Wonderful question. It means that you do understand what does it mean agile and what does it mean, what does release mean. So let's start. I want to start from following test cases. Hope you can see it, and let me even make the zoom in so we can talk to them. As you see, the format of them was the test cases were written in Excel spreadsheet, and we have some test data. Here I'm highlighting, you see on the top, test data, account name, password, email. Very good. So this is test data. What are those test cases that are dedicated to? This is, I see test case sign in page. I see the title of this file. Okay, but what I see here, when we are talking about sign in, it's the same as sign up, or this is the same as login. And what I see here, the first test case in title, I see that user enabled to create account. So no matter that we call the file, and probably the dedication or idea was to create test cases for sign in or logged in, I see that we have them for sign up. So I want to write it down here, sign in versus sign up. Okay, sign in is the same as login. We can do it when we already have account, when we already have the username and password, or when we can sign in or log in with Facebook Open ID. Sign up is the same as register, create account. Okay, so we have to understand that this is different things. Sign up and sign in, different things. So test cases are done for sign up. And as I told you last time, I can see that we were talking about negative test cases. We created some positive test cases and homework was about negative. It's fine. I don't mind. So what we start here, test case number 1. And when we read together, we see user unable to create Kerto account with the blank current email address field. You know, when I read it, and I even discussed it with Michael, believe it or not, it's good. I understand the idea. I understand the purpose of it. But what is looking a little bit strange, that this title or purpose, it looks and sounds like expected result. If I have this chapter here in expected result, it would be great. But here probably it's not, don't take me wrong, it's not a mistake, it's just advice, suggestion, that probably it would be nicer, better, if we like something like verify that user cannot create Kerto account with blank email address field, right? And whatever you have here, I would just remove and put here in front of these things, right? So the expected result will be user unable to create Kerto account with the blank current email address field. Appropriate error message with reminder to enter different email address appears. Right? This is what I would do. Actual result as expected passed. Do you remember that we were talking and we were discussing it first time that when we talk about the main components of the test cases, we usually are talking about purpose or title or objective or goals or intent. They all are synonyms. Another second one, instructions or steps, exactly as we see here, or procedures. And we can talk about expected result. Usually the actual result and status pass or fail we complete when we execute test cases upon execution. Because very often, imagine, let's say you join the project and they don't have any release yet. They don't have anything. Just you join the project from the scratch. By the way, this is the interview question. The question sounds like, what are you going to do? What are your activities when you join the project from the scratch, from the beginning, when nothing exists yet? What are you doing? Waiting until developers create the code and in the meantime going to the movie theater? Or what do you think you are doing? Interesting. What are you going to do? Well, I don't want to, your writing, it's great, but let me also continue talk. Yes, Boris, yes. Elena, it would be great to run exploratory testing, but we don't have yet anything. Please, 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 my dear, listen the question very careful. Question was, what are your activities if you join the project from scratch, when nothing exists, nothing to explore? Boris, it's hard to disagree. Nastya, it's hard to disagree. We do learn all available documentation. We participate in the design meetings. We are discussing the features, functionalities, schedule. We start to work to contribute to the test plan, and of course we start working on test cases. And because there is nothing to execute when we create test cases, we consider only those 3 components: purpose, instructions, expected result. We cannot complete yet actual result or the status, pass or fail, because there is nothing to test yet, right? There is nothing to touch, to smell, to taste, to look, nothing yet. But our current situation interesting. We are running exploratory testing in order to understand the main features, in order to understand the workflow for the application, in order to identify main components, right? So, at the same time, we write test cases and we execute them. And this is why whoever wrote those test cases is what absolutely correct now in this case to write actual result and pass fail or the status. Very good, really good. So here, as you see, instructions, all the things, and somewhere here it should be do not type anything in the email. Okay, you don't have it, but I assume that this is the reason that why you are leaving it blank. The same here. Prove that or test that user unable to create account with the password that doesn't match, right? Retype password. Password and retype password should match each other. So with mismatch, very good test case. But again, I would be modifying like that. Verify that user cannot create Kerto account if retype password and password mismatch. Okay, do not match each other. And here, the expected result would be user unable to create account. Second sentence, appropriate error message appeared, which states that password does not match. Very good. So, I think that you understand what exactly here I wanted to mention. Verify that user cannot create account with the blank without first name. The same everything. But let me go for a second to the Kerto. 1 second. Kerto.com. Okay. And this is the interesting things. The test cases that we just discussed are related to functionality on this page that we want to create your passport Kerto passport ID or Kerto account. See what happens as soon as you select this I'm not a robot and sign up. You already see all those things. So this is not one entire error message, please complete with missing fields. But first of all, you have the title of each field change to red color. Before, if you remember, it was black. Now, everything is red. But even more, on the top, we see the red banner, and we see here everything it should be there. Missing field, missing, please supply first name, last name, address doesn't look valid. What address? I don't know, they're funny. But what address? They mean probably email address. It doesn't look there. Missing field, everything. So, you did a wonderful, great job about test cases. But you know, considering that during exploratory testing I understood that even if I leave everything blank, it's enough one test case, because each and any text field has often indication about mandatory. Everything become red. Here the text is applying to each and any field, except one field, country. But why? Because by default it's already United States, and you cannot have the situation when you don't have anything. In this drop-down list, there is no default issue like select country. By default, you already see here United States. That's why this field considering to be completed. What I try to say here is that yes, not necessarily to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 test cases for the blank fields. We can create, in this particular case, we can create one test case to write, verify that all text fields on the create account page are required. Procedures or instructions: do not complete any field, just make sure that you are not a robot, check box, and press the button sign up now. By the way, the question, here you see the CAPTCHA, and actually you cannot create account with missing this part. Even if you complete everything but you do not check this checkbox, I'm not a robot, you will not be able to create account. So I have a question, my dear. Question is it possible to automate this functionality as is? In your opinion, when we look on the page as is, what do you think? Is it possible to automate it? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Because the CAPTCHA is dedicated. The goal, the purpose of the CAPTCHA is that we cannot create the script and run the script 10,000 times and automatically create 10,000 users. You manually have to check this checkbox to prove that this is not a robot. So you will ask how to write the automation script, let's say with Selenium or any other tool about it. You make changes in configuration, and in the test environment you remove it. This part disappeared, and only in this case you can automate, create account, Kerto account functionality. This is just, it was question, you know, just to catch, to see if you, how you understand. We have another wonderful test cases that I would like to talk about. So this is negative test cases for Kerto.com. Let's see. We have the ID, and ID is interesting. So first of all, we understand from that ID that the person who wrote them was working on the create account module or component, right? And negative test cases. Purpose, negative, 2 characters in desired login ID field. And why? Because we have an instruction there that the desired username or login ID should be 3 to 15 characters. And now we come to the wonderful, I saw today on the Skype, it was great discussion between you about boundary condition testing, boundary testing, and equivalence classes, equivalence partitions. And I see why I brought those test cases to your attention. Those test cases are exactly about these things. So let me just remind you, refresh a little bit your memory. Yes, boundary condition and equivalence classes. This is wonderful, great, black box testing techniques that let us optimize our testing activities, our testing efforts to save a lot of time and to have a good wonderful, robust test cases and to make sure that nothing left behind, everything is covered. So, when we are talking why it is so important, because let's say the assignment is instructions that I'm highlighting here, that the login ID should be between 3, not between 3 to 15. When we are talking about 3 to 15, it means that username is more or equal right? Or even let me copy, let me do different things. Okay. No. So 3. Now it will be right? This is what's supposed to be username, more or equal 3 and less than equal to 15. This is the instructions that we receive is. It is so easy, we all are human, and it's so easy to forget about equal. And what happened? That username is more than 3 and less than 15. It means that minimum will be 4 in this case. So why we run the boundary condition testing? Because this is the highest probability, very high probability, that error, bug occurs exactly on the boundary, exactly on the border when we change the value, when the property of the information of the field is changed. That's why this is great, wonderful things. And I see here, so 2 characters, absolutely less than desire. Another one, great, 16, because the rule is that the max that we can have maximum, it's 15. Of course, we cannot use the email address. This is the equivalence classes already, right? So we have the instruction that your desired username or user ID cannot be the same as your email address. That's why we put. So I'm not understand what does it mean invalid username, because you think that it cannot be numbers only. So let's think about the boundary condition considering the rules that I just described here. Username more or equal 3 and less than or equal 15. Let's think about test cases. So one test case, this is the positive happy pass. When the username between 3 and 15, everyone is happy, test case pass. If it doesn't pass, it doesn't make any sense to continue testing. Okay, so we have one test case, happy pass. Second test case, exactly the boundary values. So 3 or 15. And this is again positive test cases because they should pass. 3 minimum, 15 maximum. More, we have to run something that less than 3. It means 2 and 16, exactly like a guy here did. Okay? Exactly test case 1 and test case 2. Okay? More things. We probably want to think about 4 and 14. Because that's exactly about around the boundary. This is exactly when it changed. So just to verify the boundary condition to run the testing for the username, we already count. So happy pass outside inside and on the border. At least 7 test cases only for that case. Okay? So the great job. And when we were talking about the negative test case, I see here. So password 7, because the instruction is 815. And this is again absolutely the same. We use here equivalence classes. What does it mean, equivalence classes here? We can divide all possible data, all values that we can use to different classes. One class, good, positive, equivalence class. This is exactly between 8 and 15, right? We don't have to what this technique gives us. We don't have to verify 8, 9, 10, 11, etc. We assume that if one value within this class works, all other values inside of this class work as well. If you are telling that, let's say, the desired login ID should not accept numbers, digits, we don't want to verify all the possible digits. We assume that it doesn't, if it doesn't accept at least one digits, it doesn't accept all other. This is the great things. This is the great optimization. This is the great usage of the equivalence classes or equivalence partitions. This is the synonyms technique. By the way, the interview question can be how to optimize the testing activities or testing efforts. The answer is one of the ways to use boundary conditions technique and equivalence classes. Okay? So, again, continuing to work on your wonderful and greatest cases. You know, this is hard for me to say that something wrong. Okay. Another document that I receive. Let me again zoom it in. And again, my dear, this is the good, but I would write the purpose a little bit differently, because again, whatever we have here, user unable, cannot create Car2 account with letters only in the password field, it will be the expected result. So I will say that user unable to create the Car2 account with letters only, the error message, the password must contain both letters and number, is displayed. Okay, so here again I will write something that I used to. I never insist that you must do exactly how I show you, but just when you read, when somebody else is going to use your test cases, of course it's very important that they can read it and they can use it, and this is kind of advice. Verify that Car2 account cannot be created with the password that contains letters only. So great, wonderful purpose, great, wonderful steps. I see amazing test data. And desired login ID field accepts, guys, don't I do not pay attention to the misspelling, but probably you want to do it. I will not do it. Here we don't want to spend time. Please make sure that you go through that. So, desired login ID accepts 16 characters. Why I have to repeat the steps from 1? Click Join Us, select No Facebook, fill out passport ID form according to test data. Aha! Now I understand. Okay, so yes, we can do this way. Somebody the same as me, I'm lazy to type, so somebody else is also lazy. So my dear, yeah, you can do repeat steps from 1, repeat step from 2, because we have everything here. And now I have the tricky questions. It's very good that we have here the test data, but the question is, let's say I already created the account, Carto account, and I used this tester 2017, and I used already soft test 2017 at gmail.com, and I understand that they are unique information. So we provide here test data, and somebody, our colleagues, okay, will try to use those test cases, and they will try to create account using this test data. What do you think? Are they able to create an account? But of course not, right? Because those unique identifier, and they will get the absolutely valid user-friendly error message. This login ID is already in use. This email address is already registered or something around it. So we always have to be careful about test data, and probably even to write down, it would be wonderful, great negative test case. Verify that we cannot create 2 accounts with the same desired user login ID or the same email address. This is wonderful and great negative test cases, high priority, good test case. In this test case, we prove that email address and ID, login ID, are unique and no one can use it. Okay, so this is another document that I wanted to discuss with you, and I really believe that it was helpful and you understand what we do. Again, I just really enjoy seeing how hard you were working, my dear. Now, one of the students created interesting checklist, and I wanted to show you. Wait a second. Where is it? Wait. Okay. So, this is the checklist, because we very often we say that the output of the exploratory testing is the checklist. Okay? We run exploratory testing in order to identify the main components, in order to understand the application flow, the workflow. What does it mean, the workflow? You come to the page 1, you started to work, and it should be intuitive. You have to understand what to do, that if you did a step 1, you understand what is step 2, step 3, and so to the end. To complete the funnel, we have to complete the funnel. So we have to understand the workflow. We have to understand what are the main features. And the output is we create checklist. Because based on the checklist, we can easily write test cases. So one of the students wrote wonderful checklist for join us functionality. So observe all required field, that all required fields are marked with asterisks, properly aligned and labeled. She even included the graphical user interface here. Why not? GUI, it does matter. It's really important. And here, desired login. Aha, boundary testing for length. What about spaces? Can our login ID have spaces inside? if it can be the email address format. Is it case sensitive or not? Can you include digits only? Can you include special characters? Can it be blank? Can you imagine this checklist? This is already like mini test cases, huh? And people can use it. And now this is the piece of cake to write test cases based on those checklists. Do you agree? And by the way, for your that you can reach it for your needs, I put this checklist here. You see, guys, our folder is Care2 Online project, but above, now I navigate, I point on it, I hover the mouse over the Care2 project, and inside of it you can see checklist, and here something, it was broken. I put purposely for you this checklist so you can see, yes, it's not easy work. It's very complicated, a lot of time consuming, to be honest, even quite boring. And whoever you wrote, I tell you, when you wrote test cases, I think that you understand why I said so. Yes, we will be benefited later, or our teammate, our QA colleagues will be benefited, because yes, they will use them, they will reuse them, they will not forget. They have the robust, good test cases, and they will just execute, run, and don't care about, oh my God, did I forget to do it or not? Did I do it or not? It's the wonderful, great source for the regression testing. Is it wonderful? It is wonderful, great source for automation. So this is the one of our students. She did a great job. Again, please don't pay attention to the misspelling. She was in hurry or whatever. Let's do not. But she covered everything, and even GUI required value information should be displayed under desired login ID field. Okay, so the value information, it means instruction, what should be happening. So if we open this page, this is what we have. She means this one. Okay, wonderful. I saw quite few questions also in the email, and some of them seemed to be interesting, and I decided also to answer. So, wait. It was the questions about test cases. I have a couple questions about test cases. In case with care2.com, create account, we have to write test cases. Are we allowed to do it without requirements? Yes, my dear. Of course, we know the wonderful golden rule. No requirements, no test cases. By the way, it is the tricky interview question. How many test cases can we write without requirements? And of course, everyone will answer 0. Nothing. No requirements, no test cases. But the situation is quite different. Really different in reality. With our dynamic, aggressive world, it's very hard to have requirements for everything. But even if we have the requirements, the great idea, good practice is to run exploratory testing. It gives us much better understanding about the real product, about the real behavior, about the real look and feel, about the real functionality. So, to answer the question was very good. Do we allow do it without requirements? Absolutely. We have to. We want to. How come? You just will say, what happened, Janna? You just 2 minutes ago you said that no requirements to test cases, and now you say that without requirement we can write test cases. Absolutely. How come? Because we run exploratory testing. And by running exploratory testing, by using our previous experience with the social network applications, being wonderful experienced QA engineers, we do understand what are expected behavior of our applications, different components and modules. And based on that, we create checklist and test cases. So can you, this is what I really want to do. This is how I want to answer that question. Yes, it seemed to be against each other. No requirements, no test cases. And at the same time, Janna for some reasons wrote test cases and asked homework was to write test cases. Yes, we have to. Is it clear? Any questions about test cases? Again, my dear, I will try to answer some emails. So yes or no? Vladislav, after our discussion, what do you think? Of course, yes. Yes, yes, Yelena. We can and we have to write test cases based on results of exploratory testing, based on our own experience, because we all are heavy users and we all use one or another things. Copycat for password, this is very good test case. But interesting, what you consider cut or copy. Let's say if you want to copy something inside, let's say my password will be this one. Oh my gosh. This is my password. And I have spreadsheet and I don't want. Absolutely, I should be able to paste it here. When we are talking about the password and copy cut or copy paste, let me go to this copy cut. Yes, test case would be, please make sure that you cannot copy or cut from the password. How you do it? Highlight the password, hover the mouse or navigate the mouse on it, right click, and observe that cut and copy menu are disabled or gray out. You cannot. But even if you highlight and do Ctrl C, you should not be able now, or here it was remembered, I don't know why I can do it, but to be honest, even this case, if I try to put it somewhere on the word, okay, I mean, why I cannot click? Don't know. I don't know, I don't have the permission probably. It's okay. Some other document. Maybe here I can. Okay, when I try to paste, oh my god, this is the big bug. So, you understood my idea? That here the cut and copy are disabled, but what happened here? I really now interested to test it. No, it was the previous one. I cannot do it, so this is not a bug. Wonderful. So, any other questions, my dear? If there are some things that you didn't cover previously, you will do additional test cases. Yes, my dear, we all are human. It's very easy to miss something, and always can be some corner case when you didn't cover. By the way, it happened to me and happened many times. And one of my favorite bug, if somebody will ask, by the way, you all want to have to prepare your favorite bug, because in the interview they will ask you, wow, what did you do on your project, on the testing? And you will describe that you run different type of testings. You started from exploratory testing because there were not enough requirements, or very brief requirements, or almost no requirements, or even more, we were not provided with any requirements because the goal was that an application should be very intuitive and very clear what to do. So they didn't provide us with requirement purposely, right? Because they wanted to make sure that it's very easy to understand. So kind of usability testing. So you say, I started from extensive exploratory testing in order to understand the application and to start to contribute as soon as possible. After I understand, I got an assignment, because we all work by assignment. There is no anarchy. It's not I came and say, okay, I like to work on sign up and I will test sign up or some other things. No, you get the assignment from your team lead that you understand now how the application works. You identify the main components. Of course, the application is huge and complex, and you will need a lot of time to learn. But now, please focus on the petition side. And your responsibility will be to write test cases for create petition. All and any aspect of this component should be tested by you, including localization testing. Okay? So, yes, Gloria, it doesn't copy. You're absolutely right. So I said this is not a bug. Okay. So coming back, you continue to tell that I got the assignment to test in details, create petition component. I created detailed test cases. I executed test cases in different browsers and operating systems for the compatibility to make sure that it looks great. I also, after each build, run the build acceptance testing to make sure that build is testable, the main features are working. By the way, you don't have to say build acceptance testing. You may say smoke testing, which is the same. This is synonym. Of course, I run the regression testing. I run the regression testing to make sure that everything that was working before great still continue to work the same way, that not new bugs appeared. And the question would be, what was your approach for the regression testing? So please, 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 please listen to very careful. The question, what is the regression testing? You give the definition of the regression testing, that this is the partial retesting or modified code to make sure that not new bugs appeared with the changes. Also, you really want to say that this is the most executable type of testing after the smoke testing. And also you want to say that the regression testing is the great candidate for automation, right? At the same time, the question, what was your approach for the regression testing, is quite different. Now you want to say that, it would be great if we can retest entire application with each release. But unfortunately, it's not possible. It's so many components, so many different features, functionalities, and so few QA, and so little time. So you, with each new build, each new release, you receive the release notes or build notes, or you discuss with developer about what changes happen in this release. And you are making sure that you execute great, very detailed testing for the parts that were touched, that were affected by changes. Let's say there are components: registration or create account, login, another component, edit profile, third component, and create e-card or send e-card, another component. Let's say the changes occurred in the login part. What would be your approach for the regression testing? For sure, you will run very robust, very detailed test cases for everything in login. So you will execute 100% of the test cases for login. Of course, you will retest completely create account because they use the same library. They connected, related. If something wrong happened with login, probably when you create account, you cannot log in. So you do. But are you going to spend a lot of efforts, time on testing create e-card or send e-card? Probably not. Probably not. Because those components almost don't relate it. You can send e-card being logged off. It's not mandatory to log in order to send e-card. Of course, when you log in, you also can send e-card. And in this case, this part of features you will test. But that's it. You will limit. You want to work smart. You don't want just to run test cases because you have them. You really want to work smart. And this is another way to optimize your testing efforts, your testing activities, to have the smart approach for the regression testing. Okay? So we were talking about how to create test cases, what to do, and how to do. Now, let's talk about bugs, and let's try to create bugs and bug report in Bugzilla. Bugzilla, wonderful, great bug tracking system, bug tracking database. What is beauty of it? It's open source, free. It's very easy to use, very easy to search, and it's really very simple. This is, I logged in. As I told you before, in order to log in, you have the URL like, let me copy it to the Skype. Okay, and the credentials of our login will be the username login is, the password is student, as simple as that. When you log in, you get this page. As you see, the user interface is very simple. And again, like any other web page, it consists of the header, of the body, and of the informational footer. By the way, I saw the discussion about that footer looks differently on different pages. My dear, this is not a bug. This is not a bug. It's purposely done so that on some pages there is the full informational pages. This is a lot of info on the footer, and it's big. But on some pages, like signed petition, the footer is really small and short, because this is, again, the idea is that we pay attention on signing the petitions, not doing anything else. So you are here and you can search. What you have? You have the product, Carto Online. Search. You have bunch of bugs created here, and you can filter or sort the data from the latest to the oldest by the product if you have many. I purposely made sure that we have one project only, access to one project, do not abuse other projects. We have the assignee, we have the components. You see that some bugs appear to be in the red color. Why? The bugs with the highest priority, P1 or high priority, are in red. Bugzilla is very user-friendly. And let's review at least one bug. I believe that it was created by our students. In Create Yorker to Passport ID, replace birthday month with month birthday. Interesting. I cannot say that this is very, very, very clear, but let's see. Component is general. Why general? Why? It's correct. Ha! Because we don't have, I didn't create the component for create account. Very good. We have for create petition, for sign petition, send a card. All other go to general. Very good. Version. Unspecified because I'm not sure exactly what version was, so I didn't create it. Here you have the opportunity to choose, to select from the list, right? What hardware, it means what device we use, PC, Mac, tablet, smartphone, anything else, or all, right? And the same operating system. Importance is the priority. I don't want you, I really don't want you, my dear, to be confused when you join the company. Each company have different policy. They use different terminology. So Portnov Computer School is also company, and we also have the policy. Our policy is that priorities of our bugs are high, medium, low. Severity of our bugs are critical or fatal, right? Serious, minor, and enhancements, or what we call them here. Let me review. Enhancements. Enhancements, you will see change request, you will see improvement. They all are synonyms, all are the same. So in this particular case, instead of priority, we see importance. Do we care? No. We just have to understand that this is the same as priority. Assignee, we also always have the default assignee. In this particular case, default assignee, it's me. Okay, let's read. To be honest, again, I didn't understand very well what you mean, but let's read. Created attachment we have, it's good. Replace birthday month with month birthday. Ha! Let's open it. I'm very curious. Birthday month. Ah! No. Birthday month. Wait a second, why I have to replace, or it was replaced? So I come to birthday month, select month, let's say, and date. Okay, so I see that you have here first month and then date, but here birthday month. It should be month birthday. Okay. In this case, I absolutely agree that bug is minor and probably this is not even the bug but enhancement. And I believe that this is the low, and we will save the changes. Right? So we see the changes were submitted to the bug. Next bug in your list is 2371. Somebody created missing required fields are not highlighted after submitting the registration form. Interesting. This would be more serious bug, but let's see. Browsers, every steps to reproduce. Not fill out any field. Please submit. Missing required should be highlighted with red with appropriate error or corresponding error message. Again, which one was not highlighted, my dear? Oops, you didn't complete the puzzle. Please take a closer look. Guys, I believe that it was done earlier. And what date was? It was in 2015 somebody did. And because of our bug, did you realize how they fixed it? Now everything is highlighted. Yes, it is so nice to understand and to know that your bugs were considered, were reviewed, and were fixed. So, what can be now the resolution of this bug? Believe it or not, that I will add here. Great news. Bug was fixed. I'm happy to close it. At the same time, I change the status of the bug you see here to close. And I will save changes. And now you see changes submitted. When you open it now, you see the status closed. And you see my comment, great news, we did and close it. Interview question. How do you communicate the changes in the bug with the developer or your colleagues? Answer. Through the bug report, because the bug report, this is another test document, and everything related to the bug, all the comments, everything that happened, we use the comments in the field. So let's go to the new. You see here the new bug and see how to create it. We have some mandatory fields. You see also the red asterisk. And before reporting the bug, please read the guidelines. Why not? Please do. Please look on the list of the most frequently reported bugs. Why? Because they don't want, Bugzilla is very friendly, it's very nice. It doesn't want us to report duplicates. So, very good suggestion. So, let's say that we want to create the bug for the butterfly rewards. Okay, I highlight it. Now, we have already by default the status open. Assign is here. If I want somebody else, my colleagues, my manager, development manager, few developers, to be involved, to know all the information about bug, I have to put here their email address. So everyone that will include it here will receive email notification. And this is another interview question. How people know, or how the assignee knows that bug was created? Let's say the team of the 10 QA engineers testing, and they create bugs, they write bug reports like crazy. All those bugs go to default assignee, let's say Janna. How does Janna know that new bugs were created? I do not refresh the Bugzilla every second to check, is it new bug? Is it not new bug? Is it high priority bug? No. We all, everyone who involved in the bug, received the email notification. And the status of this email, the subject of this email is the short description. Is the summary. Here, it's summary. Again, I know that we learn here the short description. This is the component. Different bug tracking system may have different name of the field. Does it confuse us? Never, ever. Because we understand what it means. You want to call it summary? Good for you, good for us. I know that in this field, it will be the short description. Okay, so let's try to write at least one bug. This is for butterfly rewards, and I want to see to write something like wrong number and what I see I just started to do. Can you imagine how smart is Bugzilla? It already tells me, hey Janna, the same word, keywords exist in different bugs. Possible duplicates. Please, before you write the bug, review the bug, in this case 1938 and 2458. It seems to be that they are probably about the same. Can you imagine how smart it is, how great it is, right? Wrote number of rewards is display on the header. This is the real bug. I know that it is still there on the header. Okay, and still wrong number of members displayed when refresh cartoon. Some other things, right? But I have this one. I ignore that this is, I consider that this is not duplicate, I do it. And also I can add me to CC list of those bugs. And here, of course, I put steps to reproduce. Please do not expect that you will see the field steps to reproduce. Some system has it, but most, from my experience, I almost never saw the field steps to reproduce. Probably in U-test, not probably for sure, and they have the reason for that. And I don't remember if element tools have steps to reproduce field. But we have the field descriptions. And in this field, we have to include all details. Believe it or not, believe me, better believe me, there are no extra details when we describe the bug. So we put make sure that you logged in the cartoon. Second, observe number of the rewards on the header. Open page, my butterfly rewards. 4. Compare numbers from on the header and on the page. And here I put my observation. Observe, because we are not enemies with developers. We are their helpers. And I don't want the fellow developer to read my bug and struggle and think, what happened? No earthquake happened. No crash happened. Why she bothers me? What's wrong? So I just want to help. I don't want him to spend a lot of time. Observe that those numbers are different. Rewards, this is from, believe me, just believe, received from adding the account are not considered or counted on the page. So I want to help. I put the conclusion why I consider that this is the bug. What is wrong about it? Of course, it's always great to add an attachment and even to have what exactly is wrong. We have here other fields depends on. Let's say that this bug that I just entered, it depends. It cannot be fixed before another bug is fixed. So we show the dependencies. Let's say that this bug that I create now depends on 1, 9, I just make it, don't take me wrong, 3, 8. So I put it here. Now submit bug. Bug 5 for the number of the bug. This is usually the incremental number created automatically. Bug ID. I do not do it. Bug have been successfully created. Email sent to me. And now we check the dependencies. Now when I open the old bug, I see that it has block. Okay. So we came to the end. Homework. We always want to know homework. First, as I mentioned before, I'm very thankful and I appreciate and I respect and I know that you're all busy and you found time to create test cases. Please continue to work, and this time it can be not only positive but negative as well, not only negative but positive as well. Take the small component. So I put continuing to work on test cases. What does it mean? Improve existing, edit them, add new. Okay, this is first. Again, let me explain again what it depends on. Let's say I created the bug now, and developers review it and say, hey Janna, good bug, but I cannot fix it. I can't make any changes until the bug 1, 2, 3, 4 is fixed. So this bug that you created now depends on that bug. We can work on this one, or I can fix it, or probably the root cause for both bugs is the same. So as soon as the bug 1, 2, 3, 4 is fixed, this one can be fixed as well. So this is how I try to explain it again. Guys, so homework you see already. A, continue to work on test cases, improve existing, edit them, add new. What my recommendation? Take any module, any component, the small, the big, and try to write 6 to 10 good, robust test cases. Please do. See how it works. And I always assume, and you can write, if you can write 10 good test cases, it means you can write 100. Not a problem. So this is first. Second, 2, please play with Bugzilla. Report some bugs, review and try to reproduce existing bugs. By the way, the bug reports, as I mentioned before, bug reports is also documentation, and it's very good to review bug reports. You understand where is the weak area, where the most bugs occurred, what is very critical and narrow, and to do it. So we need to write test cases. Tanchik, for you the special assignment. Please write 10 test cases for create petition. Being member or non-member, because as you will realize that you can create petition, it means just here you can get to create petition, start a petition from here. You can go to any page and you can start a petition from here, right? You can start the petition from any page, you see, here and here. So, Tanya, for you, the special assignment. Please create 10 test cases for start petition. Okay, and send it to me. And I promise you that we will review it. Okay, my dear? Wonderful. We use Bugzilla, yes, for this particular project, care2.com. We will use great, wonderful Bugzilla bug tracking system. It's really used. It's really good. If you go to Google, best or most useful bug tracking system, I promise you that you will see Bugzilla on the first or second place. It's very popular. It's good and it's nice. Again, from time to time, I will review your questions or your comments on Skype. On weekend, I don't do it. So probably you didn't see the answers or whatever from me. How to log in Bugzilla, I already wrote above. And also, if you go to here, to our folder, and you have here the info care2 petition site, of course, on the top, you see the information about Bugzilla. Okay, I just don't want to type it again and again and again 2,000 times. Okay, as usually, it was amazing and nice to see you all. To repeat smoke test, could you repeat it? What does it mean? I didn't understand the question, to be honest, but it's okay. So I don't know about you, but for me, oh, what does it mean? The smoke test? Smoke test is the same as build acceptance test, and this is the most often executable type of testing. You learn all these things. You receive the build, and you simply verify if main features, main functionality is working. Let's say you get the new build with care2 application. Can you open the page and you see? Can you log in? Can you do the main activities? It means build acceptance or smoke test. Yelena, to answer your question, is it common to attach a screenshot? Yes. It's not always mandatory. I cannot say that this is mandatory or required. But it's always good. We all know that it's better once to see the 10 times try to describe it. So it's good if it's possible. Sometimes even it's great to attach the video, as I tell you. And another homework, please think about how to answer the following question. What are you doing if developer cannot reproduce your bug? So what are you going to do? Let's say going to do. My dear, it will be the number 3 for the homework. So first, continue to work on test cases. I believe that after today's sessions, you feel much more comfortable about test cases than before. Continue to work, continue to review, edit, improve, add more. Second, write the bug reports into Bugzilla. If you don't see bugs, please review existing bugs. Make sure that you can reproduce them, add comment, modify, clarify. And third, please prepare the answer on the question. What are you going to do if developer cannot reproduce your bug? Due date, the best question ever. We are meeting on Thursday. So you have 1.5 days. Okay, it was great. See you today, work with you today. Have a wonderful day.